All right, coming to you live from the Denver Art Museum Powwow. We're going to be going into our grand entry time here. Our AD in HD is Sid Whiting Jr. He gave the high sign. Cozette Juniors, whenever you're ready, Andy and company. Time for the grand entry. Take it away, boys. And as always, leading our grand entry is our veterans. We are able to have a small amount of dancers here live for your entertainment. Following our veterans is the one and only Big T, representing the men's Southern Straight category. Followed by Hoop Dance Champion, Nathaniel Bearshart. Followed by our men's fancy, Mr. Brad Bearshart. And now entering our stage is our women's traditional dancers, Miss No Braid. Now entering our stage is the one and only Ella Bearshart, followed by our tiny tots. Our future dancing champions here are tiny tots. All right, how about that live first grand entry song? Thank you, Andy and company. And now to explain a little bit about this next song, we're going to be honoring our flags here, our stars and stripes. We're going to be going into our flag song. Upstream singers, boys, whenever you're ready, take it away. Flag song, 2 push-ups.
bushnet and I shake down. Like that.
That was for all of our men and women overseas and home abroad. And now to honor our ancestors in the fallen, we're going into our victory song. Hoka hey boys, take it away. Yeah. All right, how about that, Denver? Our grand entry for the 31st annual Friendship Powwow here at the Denver Art Museum live. All right, we're going to go to our introductions to our flag staff carriers here. We're going to be going to our commander carrying the Colorado flag, Mr. Jesse Gonzalez, United States Marine Corps. Post your colors, sir. Thank you for your service. And carrying our American flag, Mr. John White Antelope, United States Marine Corps. Thank you for your service, sir. Due to COVID guidelines, we could only have a limited number of dancers here. So we want to thank every one of you. Our singers as well, we're only limited to so many people. So we're very fortunate to have all of you here in attendance. At this time, I'll be turning the microphone over to Andy Kozad for our invocation.
I want to say thank you to the Denver Art Museum staff, the committee, Early Don Roy, John Lukovic. You know, these circumstances that we're all facing, not only in this great country of ours, around the world. It's a new way of life that we have to adjust to. A lot of things going through our minds every day, how we're thinking, how we're feeling, everything. But we try to put everything in or keep it in a good, right perspective, if you will. Thanking our veterans of the armed forces and those who are still serving around the world. Our freedom is not free. Our life sometimes is not free. A lot of things are not free. My fellow Native American people, spiritual people, Sundance people, Sweat Lodge people, Native American church people, and other societies where there's prayer. We have different herbs that we use: cedar, tobacco, peyote, sage, paints, other herbs. God himself, the Creator, gave these to us to use. He told us to take care of them. Our elders said that. They remind us. You take care of these things. Our grandsons, granddaughters, and all, each and every one of you. These things mean something to our people. They were here a long time ago, long before you were born. All these things been here. The elders will tell you that. Nobody can be on top of it or over it because you can't. Only one can be up there is the Creator himself. He made all things on this earth. Somewhere, like I said about this COVID-19 coronavirus or pandemic, we don't know these things. We never knew it was going to come. Maybe some people do. Maybe they have prophetic views in their religions. Some of us do not. But we are all children of God. Wherever we go, we pray. We give reverence to the creation of all good things. It's not end of the world, but we've got to keep going. Some of us have been affected in so many different ways, but we've got to keep praying. We can't stop. That's what our elders tell us back home. You can't stop. You cannot give up because you got your children to live for. You got your grandchildren to live for, your great-grandchildren. You got your families to think about. All these things that consist. There's so much living things. It's like these drums here. We brought them here this evening to bring them out, to sing for you good people, for these dancers, for these eagle feathers, for some of these herbs. Our people always pray and have ceremonies at home. Summertime is a very special time for a lot of our tribes. Among our Kiowa people, the summertime, that's our new year. It starts after that first thunder and lightning in the spring. Get ready for the summer ceremonies. But that's how it was a long time ago. Today, here it is. We're going to pray. Ask the Creator to look down upon us and not only have mercy upon us, but have pity upon us. We all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. Only the creation himself we call Dog E, or God Almighty. And all those things he made because his creation, spirits and things that we believe in. They were here. And we're still here as native people, different tribes. They say there's over 500 of us, but I don't believe that because we exist all the way up from Alaska, Canada, United States, Mexico, and South America. That's indigenous right there. Only one put it there is the Creator himself. So we're going to go into prayer. Uncle Pegadoki, Deonde Doki and Hagado. Creator, Grandfather, Maker of all good things, we come before you in reverence. In honor and the sponsorship of Denver Art Museum, the 30th annual Powwow. This virtual get-together we're having today, may there be a blessing to those who can't be here in person because of this circumstance that we have to face. Only you know, and all we can do is pray that we can maybe someday get back to normalcy, get back to where it was, to our ceremonies. But somehow, through different tests, trials, tribulations, errors of life, we go through something, good and bad, right and wrong. We ask you to look down upon us, not just as native people, but all people alike, believers and non-believers in God alike. We are all still your children. Some of us throughout these years might have lost our spirituality, but some of us still had it today. Our Kiowa people still have our ways. Our Lakota relatives, they have their ways. Our folks up in Montana, they have their ways. Our folks in the Southwest, they have their ways. The Northwest, the Southeast, our native people. We come here intertribally. We're not here to pass judgment on one another as because of what had happened, but we keep you in our minds in the midst of our prayers. As some of us, we shed our tears, or some of us are saddened by this thing that took some of our relatives. And there are also natural causes too when people leave, when they go back and journey to the spirit world. But today we just ask you through these drums and these songs, these dancers will be a blessing to all of us out there that can't be here in person, here on these grounds at the Denver Art Museum. Our people, the sponsorships. They wanted to do this, to bring us together, what little we can do, to bring these drums out, to let them live on, that somebody may be going through a difficulty at this time. Maybe they're crying, they have tears upon their eyes, on their faces. But when they hear these drums and these songs, they're going to get healed from that. We're going to go on in a good way. We still can pray at home. Those of us that can participate in our ceremonies. Those of us that can continue to pray at our dinner table. Let us not cry too long, but to give us strength to go on. That's what the elders told us. They said, well, we're not here anymore. You're going to be the one to carry on. Each one of you, children of ours. When we're not here, you're going to carry on. Exactly what we're doing here today. But I ask you to watch over our veterans today. Some of them suffered emotionally, physically, wherever they are in the armed forces and around the world. You bless our warriors. This is where our songs and dances come from. The warriors that were here a long, long time ago. So good on go. Our warriors. They are protectors of our people. All through these years. All the other thing that, part of that, buffalo hunters, herders, horsemen, protectors of our people a long time ago, because of our ancestors, is the reason why we're still here today, why we're still singing, why we still dance, and why we still humble ourselves. Today, you look down upon us and take pity upon us and give us strength and direction and guidance in days to come. Every family that's here in this building here, you bless them today. Let us go on. Let us be a little stronger. Let us find and seek that goodness once again with the circle we call powwow, as well as our ceremonial way of life, our elders, their teachings, their ways, what they taught us, what they showed us, what they believed in from their parents and their relatives of way back when. Each one of us tribes here, we have an origin where we come from. History, knowledge, wisdom, hardships, good things, everything, good and bad, right and wrong, we bring it all together as one in perfect balance today. Your Heavenly Father, our grandfather, Creator, Great Spirit, Creator, we say thank you. Aho Dayonde. Amen, amen, and amen.
Oh, thank you, Andy, for those truly inspiring words through this tough time. And at this time, we're going to be going to the Denver Art Museum song composed by Andy Kozad. He was asked to make this song, so this is very special to be sung here. Whenever you're ready, Andy, take it away.
Oh,
Thank you, Kozad, for that wonderful song composed by Andy Kozad for the Denver Art Museum. Dancers, let's go ahead and clear the stage. You're going to be going on to our next set of our performance here, live from the Denver Art Museum Powwow. Our Denver Art Museum staff, John and Dakota, make your way on up here. Thank you, dancers. Right after this, we're going to be going to a live prayer segment for anyone who needs it. To Mr. John Mhula after our introduction here from the Denver Art Museum staff.
Ham takepi. Chante washdea na pe chiuzapi. Dakota emakiapie. Oglala Lakota wiya himacha. Ka wazi ahaha ed omawapi. Tuahi mitawa ki hanwi chikala eapi. Hello, my relatives. My name is Dakota Haska. I am an enrolled member of the Pine Ridge Reservation, and I shake all of your hands with a good heart. I'm also the Assistant Curator of Native Arts here at the Denver Art Museum. For centuries, Native people have danced for many reasons. They have danced to heal, they have danced to celebrate, and they have danced to prepare. And this powwow is no different. We're dancing for healing, for this very tough year of 2020, for all that COVID has brought to us. We are dancing to celebrate because we are still here, and we are dancing to prepare for a much better 2021.
Thank you, Dakota. Welcome, everyone, to the 31st Annual Friendship Powwow at the Denver Art Museum and our very first virtual powwow. I am John Lukovic. I'm the Andrew W. Mellon Curator of Native Arts here at DAM, and I really want to welcome you today. Since 1925, the Denver Art Museum has been dedicated to Indigenous arts and Indigenous communities all across the United States and Canada. This event to us is a visible way of recognizing our responsibilities to these communities and to the arts that we hold here and steward at the Denver Art Museum. We also want to acknowledge that the Denver Art Museum sits on the homeland of the Cheyenne, Arapaho, and Ute nations, as well as the many other Indigenous people who have historically called this place home, and the over 40,000 Indigenous people who today live in the Front Range region. This year has been particularly challenging for us all. and it will take all of us to work together to get through it. I want to thank all of our partners, the Powwow Committee, all the dancers and singers who came and joined us here today, and for everyone who's watching out there at our first virtual powwow. We faced many challenges as we tried to transition from a live powwow to a virtual powwow, with plans changing nearly daily, with a lot of interesting twists and turns in the process, but we ultimately did it. So I would like to welcome you to come back next year for our 32nd annual powwow, which will be either in October or September of 2021, which will be an opportunity to celebrate the reopening of our Martin building, as well as the reinstallation of our Indigenous Arts in North America galleries. So please join us here in Denver next year and enjoy the rest of the program that we present virtually today.
Mitakuye o yasin.
All right. Thank you, John and Dakota. At this time, we're going to be going to one of our most revered elders in our community, Mr. John Emahula.
My name is John Emahula Jr. I am a veteran of the Korean War, which occurred way back in 1950. And I served those 2 years, 1950 through mid-1952. This afternoon I wanted to say a few words about the Denver Art Museum powwow. The Denver Art Museum powwow began about 1989. And it started out rather small in the old section of the old museum that was on the north side of the street over there. And at the beginning, we had just a small start, but great results. Turned out to be a good community relationship that took place for it to be successful, and it began with some good staff people that helped out. I just wanted to say a thank you to those dancers and to the singers. Good job that they did. And all the parents, grandparents that brought their young people down and to take part. Even the adult men and women participated. Through the years, I've had an opportunity to say a prayer for the Denver Art Museum Community Powwow. And I'd like to say a short prayer that's going to be in my language here, but I'm still trying to hang on to that language, which is the Kiowa language in Oklahoma. And say a few words to our Creator, asking Him to bless each and every Native American and those that come and support this friendship powwow each year. And at this time, I'd like to take that moment to say that. And again, we ask good Lord to bless each and every one. There you go. Flott Nikki the Dore. The old day. Get our takes on, yeah. Hey, on the Kigo. Hey, ho. Got up yo. They on the get for young dog. They couldn't tell you. They both go out dog. Hey, boy. Hey, dad, Sadu. Them good, no. Hey, boy. I can stay. But dad, they keep it. They already get better go on the Kigo. They did. Bajo tu creato, Pasha Leone, Eamento, Eon Yen Haiketo, the Yen Town Dog, Dome, Hit Town Ailey, De Poego, Ado Econ Doctor, Doctor, Talk at Pedro Ailey, they go in Sunday, talk at Jättons on mind, Ailey Key, Doctor, they put no title, the title, the Doctor. They only put him down. Honk echo, ado, beat idol, bark echo, balado, honk echo. They put idol there. They only get put him down. So they don't echo down. They go, I don't all palmer. They got to pay you, they more come to. So get paid away on the key. I can't pay you. I hope I don't. Thank you.
Hawaii. I'm Jan Jacobs, a member of the Osage Nation from Oklahoma and chair of the Denver Art Museum Indigenous Community Advisory Council. On behalf of our council, Montoya Whiteman, Cheyenne and Arapaho, Felicia Alvarez, Shoshone, Sid Whiting Jr., Lakota, Rick Waters, Kiowa and Cherokee, Ernest House Jr., Ute Mountain Ute, and Stephen Yazzie, Navajo, I welcome you to this year's 2020 Denver Art Museum Virtual Friendship Powwow. We hope you enjoy the day, and we look forward to next year when we can see you in person dancing in our own museum. Take care. See you then. Bye.
All right, we're going to be going into Andy Kozad. He's going to do a healing song for this current health crisis that we're in. After that, we'll be going straight into Tiny Tots Live. So whenever you're ready, Kozad Jr.'s healing song. Take it away.
They got home, no, they all talking about, hey, oh, hey, they got home, no, they all talking about, hey, oh,
Thank you, Andy Kozat, for that wonderful healing song. At this time, we're going to be going to our future champion dancers. Coming to you live from the 31st Annual Friendship Powwow. Our Tiny Tots. Come on out here, Tiny Tots. After this live performance, you're going to be seeing some of our video submission dancers for our Tiny Tots. Go ahead, kids, come on stage. All right. All right. We'll be going over to our upstream singers for our Tiny Tot category. All right, looks like we have a total of 3 Tiny Tots. All right, last call, Tiny Tots. Looks like that is it. Arena director said, let's go. Again, thank you, Sid Whiting. Upstream singers, take it away. All right, thank you, Upstream. How about that, Denver? And all across Indian country. And right now, we're going to be going into some of our video submissions.
Hi everyone, my name is John Lukovic. I'm the Andrew W. Mellon Curator of Native Arts at the Denver Art Museum. I'm here with Dakota Hoska, who's holding the camera now, and she'll be talking with me a little bit about 3 different fans from the Denver Art Museum's collection. So today we laid out 3 different kinds of fans. We have a loose feather fan, a flat fan, and a wing fan. Now, as you watch through the powwow, you'll probably notice some people are carrying different kinds of fans in their hands. And you know, that's really a lot of times depending on the preference of the dancer, or maybe perhaps like what style dance that they're dancing, or how they're using it. The fan on the end here, this loose feather fan, this particular one is referred to as a peyote fan. It was used in Native American church. This style fan is also used in things such as the gourd dance, which you will not see, unfortunately, in our virtual powwow this year. This fan was made in the probably the early 1940s by a Ponca man named Joe Rush, who was actually the second Ponca person to have his own fireplace in the Native American church after it was passed to them from Quanah from the Comanche people. Yeah, and what's interesting about this, I mean, you can just see kind of the explosion of color from the different colored feathers, especially the blue and the red feathers that came off two different colored macaw parrots. Now, something I'll point out let's talk about the feathers for a second. This fan here, this flat feather fan, is by an Osage artist around 1940, and this one here is a wing fan by a Crow artist, also kind of around 1940 or so. These two fans here, though, are the feathers on them are from a golden eagle. These here on the flat fan is from the tail feathers, and this, obviously, with the name wing fan, is from the wing.
So I have a question. When I'm looking at these three fans, it looks like the fan, the one on the far left, the feathers have been trimmed, and have they also been trimmed in the middle fan?
Well, you can see here on this loose fan, this particular feather right here in the center, you can kind of see this. I don't know how well it shows up on the video.
Yeah, those notches.
But you can see kind of like the zigzag pattern that was cut into the feather to add a little bit of decoration to the feather. The fan in the middle, this flat feather fan, there is a chance that actually you can kind of see some of the cut marks that the kind of the fraying edges that would naturally be on a feather had been trimmed, especially on this center feather. And the center feather, you can kind of see the quill that runs up the center is kind of almost equidistant on both sides.
Yeah, I see that.
Something else I'd really like to point out is the different styles of beadwork that are done on these. On this crow fan, you see what's referred to as lane stitch, or some, people, for quite some time referred to it as lazy stitch, where you have multiple beads in each individual row that were, so each lane was stitched down separately. This flat feather fan in the center is done with what's referred to as either a gourd stitch or a peyote stitch, specifically a style that's called the 3-drop technique. And you can kind of, I don't know how well it shows up on the video, but at the top you can kind of see 3 beads before on the 4th bead, then there's another bead on top of it. That's one way that you can tell the difference between this and, say, a 2-drop technique.
I see it.
Which is a 2-drop technique is more of kind of an alternating like A, B, A, B, where this is like A, B, C, A, B, C. Now that differs. If you notice, actually, again, on this one, the beads are oriented, beads are kind of rectangular in shape a little bit. They're not perfectly square. And so they're more elongated, going up and down on this one. Now, look at this in comparison to this style here. This loose feather fan is done in what is referred to as a brick stitch or brickwork. Some people call it Comanche stitch, but the Kiowas also did this stitch and a variety of other tribes. And like I said, this was made by Joe Rush, who was Ponca. But again, what's referred to as the fireplace that he ran up in White Eagle, Oklahoma, came from the Comanches. So there was a strong connection between Comanche people and Ponca people in that way.
Oh, well, I'm looking forward to seeing these fans. I know I have seen women jingle dress dancers carry a fan like the crow fan that we were talking about for different healing ceremonies. But before coming down here to the south, I hadn't seen these 2 types of fans as much. So I really thank you for going over all of this stuff with me.
Absolutely, and look forward to our next one.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Hey!
All right. Next in our segment here, we'll be going into some live hoop dancing brought to you by Team Bears Heart, Nathaniel and Ella. They are known all across Indian country for their amazing hoop dance. We'll be going live to Cozad Juniors for this hoop dance song. The hoop dance originates as a ceremony dance brought to you live in performances all across Indian country. You're gonna see many animals, objects that were sacred and endearing to our people. The dancers will make them through various styles of hoops and positions. Their footwork is renowned. The speed of which they do things is also renowned. There are many hoop dancers all across Indian country. Encourage you all to take it up, all you dancers. Show our next generation. All right, how about that? Thank you, Team Bears Heart. The amazing hoop dance champions here, Ella and Nathaniel, thank you very much. Man, you know, Sid Whiting once challenged them to a hula hoop competition, and he won. Hey. All right. I believe we're going to be going into our women's traditional. So women's traditional, be standing by.
We dance for healing. We dance for one another. For connection. In ways like no other. Together. Or even apart. We are resilient. The 2020 census is here, and we need to do our part for our people.
All right, we're going to be going into our women's traditional segment. I want to introduce the one and only Larissa Nobraid. Come on up here. And again, if you're just joining us, we are live at the Denver Art Museum 31st Annual Friendship Powwow. Welcome to the stage, Larissa.
Hello.
If you don't mind introducing yourself, your tribe, and your style of dance.
My name is Larissa Nobraid. I am an enrolled member of the 3 affiliated tribes, Arikara, Mandan, and Hidatsa from Fort Berthold, North Dakota. And I am also a Oglala Lakota from Pine Ridge, South Dakota. And my style of dance is the women's northern traditional stationary style.
All right. So you're at home. We're going to be witnessing live here the women's stationary northern traditional style. All right. I believe we'll be going to Upstream Singers for that first song. Whenever you are ready, boys, take it away. All right, how about that live from the Denver Art Museum? Thank you, Larissa Nobraid. She is also a graduate of Haskell Nations Indian University and works for the Denver March Powwow. go into our men's traditional. Here you go, Tony. All right. Representing our men's traditional style here is the one and only Big T, we call him around here, Tony Hedgepeth. Welcome to the stage, Tony. Tony is representing the men's Southern Straight category. If you notice, they do not have a bustle. So it's also called the gentleman's dance. This is a Southern style. Tony, would you mind introducing yourself?
I'm from the Halawasaponi tribe. I'm thankful for everybody for being here, and thank you for being invited, and represent Southern Straight.
All right. And then now we're going to be going to Cozad Juniors for this exhibition song, Southern Style. Thank you, Cozad. And again, thank you, Tony Hedgepeth, working hard for our veterans every day, working for the Veterans Affairs. So I really appreciate you, Tony, for coming on out today, representing the smooth style of the Southern Straight. All right, looks like we're going to be going into some of our men's traditional entries.
Hi everyone, I'm Jan Jacobs. This is my son Ben. We're members of the Osage Nation from Oklahoma, and we're glad to have you here in my kitchen this afternoon. And we thought it would be fun if we did one of the dishes that Ben cooks often in our restaurant here, Tokabe, an American Indian eatery. I'm going to do a little bit of the prep work, and Ben's going to do the cooking and explain it all, so I'm going to turn it over to Ben.
Awesome. Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome.
It's fun to be in this little kitchen. I used to live in this house too, so it's pretty fun. So anyways, yes, I'm Ben. This is my lovely mother, Jan. We talked about a bunch of recipes we could do, but we thought this one would be fun because we do it in the restaurant. You can have it in the restaurant, but also you can cook it at home now. So you have one of our specialty recipes that we do at Tokabe. So this is going to be our wild rice side. A lot of times we do it with bison ribs. So we'll run through it and show you how to get it done. So first, we want to start with corn. I'm guessing you all know how to shuck corn, so we've already kind of done that. I'm going to show you how we roast it off in the kitchen if you don't have a grill ready. But my mom, in the meantime, is going to kind of do the prep work on one that we've already roasted. So you're going to hold that up and show them what it looks like.
We've already roasted it.
And we thought it'd be fun to show you a neat technique too, so you don't spill corn all over the floor. So we have this big bowl here, and then we put a small kind of ramekin or smaller bowl in there, and then my mom will just put the corn right on top, and she'll start cutting down. So as that falls off, it goes right into the bowl, so you don't lose things all over the kitchen. While she does that, I will show you a fun way to roast corn inside. So really simple. If you have a gas stove, which obviously works great, you just turn that on and throw the corn right on top. If you do not have a gas stove, and you have the oven and you have if you have electric, you can use the broiler, and then you can do that with the flame from the broiler. So we already did one before to save a little bit of time, but that's it. This is all you do, and then you just kind of rotate it, and you watch the flame. Make sure to use some tongs just because it does get hot. If you do have kitchen hands like some of us in restaurants or those cooks and chefs out there, probably have a little bit tougher hands, but tongs are always best. So there you go. Now we have all that corn cut, and we can, you got a nice roast on there, and this will be great because it'll add a lot of really good flavor. It'll taste like it's traditionally cooked outside over fire.
And there's
even though
nothing
it's
better
inside.
than fresh corn on the cob anyway, regardless of how you fix it.
Exactly. So we have this one. So that's just kind of the quick, simple technique we wanted to just show. So then you just keep rotating until this is cooked off in the house, so you don't have to go outside and use the grill. So easy peasy. We'll set that one aside since we already kind of got the corn done. Now we're going to do just a simple small pan for two because we're going to eat it. We just have a cast iron pan and the stove on high. So we'll put that on. And do we have a little oil?
We sure do.
Oil. We need a little touch of oil. And you can use what you like. We're going to use a little olive oil. but you can use an oil of your liking. I would say more of a neutral oil, maybe 2 teaspoons in there, and we're gonna let that get hot. So this is really simple. It's basically just cooking everything down in one go in a one pot kind of meal. So what I'm gonna do, since this is kind of getting hot here, is I am going to throw in our red onions, which we've already cut and prepared. Then we also have poblano peppers that we've already cut and prepared. So toss these in and get these going.
And while he's doing that, I'm going to start here doing some cutting for him, some things he's going to need as he works.
So what she's going to do right now, while we kind of let these just sweat off, we don't want to cook them down too much because we still want to have the bite and the flavor, but we do still want to start breaking down those flavors a little bit. So we have red onions and a little poblano pepper. Doesn't have a lot of spice, just more flavor. And then we're going to add a touch of salt. Okay, so you can hear it sizzling around. It's great to have a nice heavy pan like this to cook everything down. So we'll let those go for a minute, and then...
Now, Ben, are you going to need more than this?
Yeah, let's put a little bit more.
Okay.
Let's do this whole thing, and then we can kind of decide. So what's fun about these green onions that we're going to use, or scallions, is it's a lot kind of my mom's memories of wild onions in Oklahoma that she used to eat all the time. I think that's maybe one of your favorite foods?
Yeah, it is.
So that's one of her favorites. So this replicates that because we can't really get wild onions all the time here. And especially in the restaurant, it's something that we have access to all the time. And that's what's great about this recipe, is it's pretty convenient. You can't get a lot of these ingredients just at the grocery store. The wild rice we do get from Red Lake Nation, though. But you can find wild rice all over the place. But supporting indigenous food producers is really important, so you can find them online as well. So she's got that going. We're going to save those and set those on the side. Now, I'm tossing it around. You don't necessarily have to do that. You can just kind of let it sit and just let those cook down. So those are going. We already have our corn done. We're going to add a little bit of corn. Let's see, where did we put the corn? Corn's back over here. So we already have this corn done, but we want to cook it into the peppers and the onions. So I'm just going to break them up a little bit with my hand, and then we'll pour in. And this is to your liking. You like more corn, less corn, a little bit of corn, lots of corn. I think we like lots.
Yep, we do.
So we're going to add that in.
Would you like me to chop some of these cranberries for you?
Yeah, so then those are the cranberries we're going to add in the kind of the end. So we have the scallions, we have the cranberries. Those are going to be our finishing touches for freshness, for a little bit of sweetness, and kind of to finish off all the flavors. So I got these all cooking in. We're just marrying the flavors, you can say. We're just cooking in all these flavors together. So we have lots of fresh ingredients in there. And then this one's more specialized for the restaurant. But you can do this at home, and you don't have to have bison stock. So we are going to use some bison stock that we make in the restaurant that I brought home to Mom's house today. But you can use beef stock, you can use veggie stock, you can use water and add to it. So what we did was just added a little smoked paprika to add some smokiness and that flavor in there. So you can just do smoked paprika with water, or you can add into any stock you may have at home. What's another fun little technique is you can save the corn on the cob and the husks from the corn and put that in water and make like a corn stock.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then add your smoked paprika to that. So let's do a little bit more,
okay,
just in case. So I'm going to take the stock while she's cutting all that up. Wow, this is like a role reversal. I feel like this would have been me when I was little and you doing this.
It is role reversal.
All right, so we put the bison stock in there. And we're just going to cook those flavors in. Oh, it smells good. I wish you could smell it.
Yeah, it does. Smells wonderful.
I feel like they always say that on TV shows. It smells great, but it actually does. It smells really good.
And they take that first bite and go, that's delicious.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a little bit more salt because we're going to season as we go. I'm going to add a little bit more salt.
Okay, Ben, is this going to be good for you?
I think that's perfect.
Okay.
Just a touch of salt, and I'm going to add a touch of pepper while that goes in. So we're actually almost done with everything. So the last thing, of course, while we still have some stock in there, is wild rice. So we add the wild rice in. get it all in there.
And just so you know, when we serve this at the restaurant and someone orders it as a side with their bison ribs or just as a side, we cook it just like this. It's not like sitting on the side ready to just dish up. They actually saute it in a pan and get it ready so that when you get it, it's just in prepared for you. So I think that's important for people to know.
Yeah, sometimes people come and they think because of our style that they just get the food really quickly and it's all made, but we do cook things to order like this.
Right.
And it's few and far between now, kind of with everything going on. We're all keeping distance and things like that. So we've got to minimize our menu a little bit. But we're almost there. So the stock is cooking off real quick.
Here
I'm going to
do sliced
do
onions.
one last pinch of salt. Now, it may seem like a lot of salt, but it's not, because I'm barely doing any each time. It's just kind of, again, cooking in on each little pinch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that looks good.
Looks delish.
Good. Now we're going to add these in, because we don't really want to cook these down. And do we have, why don't you cut them just a touch more on that, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to throw the cranberries in. Whoop, making a mess. And I'm just going to turn my heat off.
There you go.
Thank
You
you.
want these cranberries here too?
Yeah. We're going to add them maybe
I'll
to the
just mix
stock.
them together.
Okay, so that's all mixed in. Ooh.
Looks pretty good.
Okay, so now that's it. That's it. It's in a bowl. Look how easy that was. Sounds good.
Let me get you a
Let's get
bowl.
one more.
Yep. And you can see where this is actually meal all by itself, because you've got the rice, which is great for you, and then you've got the fresh vegetables and the seasonings. So, you can have this with a piece of really good bread and a nice cold glass of iced tea, and you'd be set to go.
You're ready. So this is what I like to do at the very end, is I like to take a little bit more of the onions and cranberries and just add them on top. And there you have it.
That's it. Thank you so much for coming and visiting us in my kitchen today.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.
All right, looks like we're going to be going into our jingle dress exhibition here. Miss Ella Bearsheart, come on over here, young lady. If you can, pick up this microphone here. We are maintaining our social distancing. Again, if you're just joining us, welcome to the 31st Annual Friendship Powwow here at the Denver Art Museum, featuring our jingle dress dancer here, Miss Ella Bearsheart. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Ella.
Oh, hello, everybody. My name is Ella Bearsheart. I'm 19 years old. I am an enrolled member of the Standing Rock tribe, alongside with Santee Sioux on my grandmother's side, and I will be showing you guys the jingle dress dance.
All right, Ella, could you tell us a little bit of history about the jingle dress?
So the jingle dress is meant as a healing dance. Originally, it was a story long ago. This young man, he was very sick. One night he went to bed and he imagined his granddaughter wearing this dress, and when she danced and made this chinging noise. And so when he woke up that morning, he decided to make this dress for her so he could dance. He was also very sick. So for each jingle, it is supposed to be 365 jingles on a dress, and each cone is supposed to represent each day as a prayer.
All right, thank you, Ella. All right, we're going to be going on over to Upstream Singers for this exhibition song. So, gentlemen, whenever you are ready. All right, how about that, ladies and gentlemen, our jingle dress exhibition. Thank you, Miss Ella Bearsheart. A little bit more about Ella's dress. She chewed every can of tobacco for those lids. Hey. All right. We're going to be going into some of our junior teens jingle entries and some of our women's jingle entries. They'll be coming on up during this live feed here at the 31st Annual Friendship Powwow here at the Denver Art Museum. All right. We're back live from Denver Art Museum Powwow, 31st Annual Friendship Powwow. At this time, we're going to be going into our men's grass exhibition style. Come on over here, Mr. Nathaniel Bear's Heart. He's going to be talking about the grass dance. Go and take that X over there. All right, Nathaniel, welcome. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Nathaniel Lakota Bear's Heart, and I'm half Standing Rock and half Sante Sioux on my grandma's side.
All right, now tell us your style of dance and the history of that dance, please.
My style of dance is the men's grass dance. A long time ago,
well, there's a story about a gentleman who couldn't walk that well. That comes from the Plains area. And in his vision, he was dancing. And as you see, Nathaniel will be mirroring the dance moves from one side to the other. So at this time, we'll be going over to Kozad for that song here. Thank you, Nathaniel. He's going to mimic the grass dance in the prairie, the winds of the grass. All right, how about that, Denver and all across Indian country? Thank you, Nathaniel Bear's Heart. And a little bit other stories about the grass dance is that our grass dancers would stomp down the grass before we would set up camp. And at this time, we're going to be going into some of our video submissions for our men's grass.
Hi everyone, this is Dakota Hoska again, Assistant Curator of Native Arts at the Denver Art Museum. And I'm here with my colleague John Lukovic, and we are going to continue to talk about some of the dance regalia that we have in our collection.
So Dakota, can you tell us a little bit about what we have here?
Yes, we have a jingle dress from very early on, and I know one of our dancers is going to give you a little bit of history. But what I'm going to, on the origination of the dance, but what I'm going to talk about today is the beautiful creation of the tinklers and the recycled nature of all of the materials that this creator made in this dress. So as John gets closer, you are going to be able to see that this dress is very early, and we know this because these lids are original Copenhagen lids from like snuff cans. And you can see here, even on some of these, I don't know if John can get this or not, but some of them still have the original labels on the inside of them. So I love that people were always thinking about, you know, not just taking the object for what it was, but really innovating with the materials that were at hand at every moment in time. Even something that might appear simple, like a Copenhagen lid that might be considered trash in another place or another time, turned out to have this beautiful sonic quality that lends to the power of the jingle dress.
Can you shake it lightly again so we can hear it?
I don't want to shake it too hard because this is a very old example.
When do you think this dress was made?
You know, I am guessing, and John and I are guessing that it's like the 1920s. The jingle dress itself was originated at that time because, similar to, unfortunately, what's going on today, there was a global pandemic. And sailors or people were coming back from Europe and bringing back with them the Spanish flu. And the story that I have heard is that a young woman, I believe her name was Maggie White, was very, very sick, and everybody thought she was going to die, but her father had a vision to create this healing dress, the jingle dress. So he created the dress. He had also had a vision about the dance and the steps that were necessary to heal Maggie. When the dress was completed, he put it on her. He had to at first lift her up in order for her to be able to dance. But eventually she was able to dance and she healed. She died an old woman in 1992. And, you know, I have also heard other origination stories, like other people being responsible. But at the bottom line, this has always been a healing dress, and it was particularly practiced by the Anishinaabe, who you may also know as the Ojibwe or Chippewa. But they have shared this healing dance with many, many other tribes. And so today, like today when you're going to see on our powwow, people from all nations, or many nations at least, are dancing the traditional jingle dress dance.
In the jingle dress, when it's danced at powwows today, the jingles themselves tend to be much bit larger than what we see here. Can you talk about, like, maybe we even heard the difference in the sounds?
Yeah, correct. You know, I really like that people are not only thinking of the visuals of the dance, but the other elements that lend to the dance, and this sonic nature, these beautiful tinkles, are one of those elements. Now today, our jingles aren't handmade anymore. I mean, you know, early on, we were using recycled tin or recycled tea kettles or Copenhagen lids, as you see here, to create these jingles. And eventually, of course, like many other things, there was a market for them. So the jingles today are different, and even the way of attaching them to the dress are different. So they're larger. They make a more clink, clink, clink sound instead of a tinkle, tinkle sound, which just sounds kind of funny to say. And they're even attached slightly different. Instead of these being like crimped at the top,
you're not going to really be able to see inside, but there is a knot then where these jingles are attached to. So you'll see they're not really overlapping. And, you know, just so beautiful that they made these giant buttons out of these Copenhagen cans. Like, that to me shows real innovation.
And of course, we know they're Copenhagen because you can actually
You can
read it.
read the Copenhagen right
Like the
on
label, the font for the Copenhagen is still very clearly visible.
there. Yeah, and even I have seen jingle dresses that are in the 1920s flapper style. So throughout time, the style of the combs, the style of the dress itself has changed and evolved to meet the tastes of the people.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Dakota.
Thank you.
All right, how about those grass dancers? And at this time, we're going to be going into our women's fancy shawl. So we're going to have our next dancer come on up here, Miss Ella Bearsheart. Man, you do it all, don't you? All right, and for those of you just joining us, welcome to the 31st annual live portion of the Denver Art Museum Friendship Powwow here in the heart of the city of Denver. And again, we're going to be introducing Miss Ella Bearsheart. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ella Bearsheart. My Indian name is Sinkala Chikala Huashte Wheat, and that means beautiful bird with a beautiful voice. I am 19 years old, and I am an enrolled member from the Standing Rock tribe alongside with Sante Sioux on my grandmother's side. Thank you.
Wait, before you put that down, could you introduce your style of dance?
Today I will be doing the fancy shawl. Way back in the day, during the Buffalo Bill Wild days, there was this dance style for the men called the fancy dance. The women wanted to be able to dance just like them, so they grabbed their shawl from their shoulder or from their arms, put it around their shoulders, and they began to spin around and kick, and they were to represent a butterfly.
All right, so at this time, we're going to be going on over to Upstream Singers for this, almost said contest song, for this exhibition. Take it away, boys. All right, how about that beautiful song? Thank you, Upstream, and thank you, Miss Ella Bearsheart. All right, we're going to be going into some video submissions here for our Junior Teens Combined Fancy Shawl categories, followed by our Women's Fancy Shawl. And when we come back, we'll be going into the Men's Fancy. So please enjoy those dances and keep it rolling here live at the Denver Art Museum Powwow, 31st Annual. welcome back to the live portion of the Denver Art Museum Powwow. At this time, we're going to be going into our men's fancy dance. So we're going to be welcoming the head of Team Bears Heart, Mr. Brad Bears Heart, to the stage here. Please grab a microphone, sir. Go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Name is Brad Bears Heart. I'm a real member up in Standing Rock on my father's side, and on my mother's side, Ella Marie Campbell Bears Heart. She belongs to the Santee Sioux Reservation down in Nebraska, and so that's where I come from.
All right, thank you, Brad. And again, could you tell us what style you're dancing today?
I'm dancing in the men's fancy feather war dance. The dance originated in Oklahoma. And it was always just a young warrior's dance, and I'm almost young, but in the heart, I still feel like I can dance, and I'm dance like the young guys did. But back in the day, the young men, and nowadays they be doing up their cartwheels, and and they do flips, and they do the whole thing, and the splits, and it's a young man's dance, but. I'm still young at heart yet, and I think I might be in that Native American middle-aged division. But, I think 58 years old, I feel pretty good in the heart, and just thank Tangashala for allowing me to still dance the way I can.
All right, thank you, Brad. And at this time, we're going to be going over to Koze Juniors for this contest song, exhibition song. Whenever you're ready, boys, take it away. Thank you, Mr. Brad's Bears Heart. Good one. Brad is a veteran of the United States Army, former United States Army Europe. Thank you, Brad and family. And at this time, we'll be going into some segments of our men's fancy entries. And at this time, I want to take a few minutes of your time to thank some of our local community organizations. And as many of you know, when we leave the reservation, we often do not have health care. So I want to give a big thank you to all the staff at all the healthcare centers across Indian country and many of the cities here in the United States. But in our Denver city, we have the Denver Indian Health and Family Services. You could visit them at dihfs.org. They offer many medical solutions to people who are off reservation. Please visit them if you're in the Denver area. I want to thank all their staff for helping keep not only my family, but all the other families here in the metro area healthy. I want to thank the staff at the Diabetes Prevention, Sarah, our personal trainer, and Jamie, our nutritionist. Thank you very much for all that you do for all of us here in the city. Second, I want to give a shout out to the Denver Indian Center. You could reach them at denverindiancenter.org. I want to thank all the staff there for providing coats for the kids and also school supplies, hosting many powwows, funerals, and all the above that we need in the heart of the city here. A little bit of home in the heart of the city. I want to thank them. I know we have a new gym over there. We're going to break that in as soon as this COVID is clear with many, many round dances, powwows, and other basketball tournaments, and many more good things to come. We pray for after this pandemic has ended. And lastly, I want to thank the American Indian Academy of Denver. I want to thank Dr. Terry Bissonette for all that she does for our students and creating our first native charter school in Denver, Colorado. This is unprecedented territory. She's going to bring back cultural ways into the heart of our education, bringing up our students in a good way, mind, body, and spirit together. Thank you to all the staff at American Indian Academy of Denver. Please visit them at aiadschool.org. I want to thank you all for that moment of time there. All right, at this time, I want to congratulate all the winners. Thank you all for submitting videos. And right now, if you look on your screen, we're going to be announcing the winners. There's going to be a list of all the winners for the categories that submitted. And again, thank you all for your participation. Thank you, singers, for those wonderful songs. With that, I thank you all. Aho. All right. And again, thank you to all the winners and everyone watching near and far near. And again, we're going to be closing out our live stream here at the 31st Annual Friendship Powwow from the Denver Art Museum in the heart of the city here. Veterans, be ready to close it down. We're going to be going to Cozad for our flag and victory.
Otaga, Betaga, Olagu. Onde, by
All right. Victory song. Dancers, dance them out. On behalf of the Denver Art Museum, we want to thank all of you spectators who tuned in live to our portion here at the 31st Annual Denver Museum. Heart of the City, Powwow. And again, we want to thank all the singers, all the staff here, all the dancers who came live. And again, we want to thank our arena director here, Mr. Sid Whiting. Come on up here, sir. Thank you very much for all that you do for our Denver Indian community. And again, on behalf of the staff here, the committee, thank you very much. We want to wish you all a very blessed day. We wish that everyone in Indian country will be okay and survive this COVID-19. We know we will. 100 years ago, our ancestors faced something similar. With that, their enduring spirit of our ancestors still runs in our veins to this day. And with that, we thank you. Doksha Ake, Indian country. Until next time.
Doksha Ake. Thank you, everyone. See you all next year.